Turkish tanks crossed the border into Syria. They're part of an offensive to help the Free Syrian Army, fighters who are being backed by the Turkish government to take over Jarablus. The town on the border with Turkey has been controlled by ISIL fighters for the past 2 years. US-led coalition fighter jets are also involved in the military operation.
Bakın bu sabah 4 itibariyle
At 4 a.m. this morning, our army and security forces started operations in the north of Syria against terror groups which constantly threaten our security, like ISIL and the YPG.
Free Syrian army fighters are also on the move to capture Jarablus. The FSA, backed by Turkey and the US, has been largely undermined by conservative groups such as the Army of Conquest, which controls Idlib and parts of Aleppo province.
We are fighters originally. We were here to liberate Jarablus from ISIL and also to defeat the gangs of the YPG who wants to establish a separatist entity.
Jarablus and Al-Bab are the last remaining towns under ISIL control in northern Syria. But ISIL isn't the only reason for the increased Turkish involvement in Syria. Kurdish fighters from the YPG are also in action. They have recently consolidated their gains in Hasaka and taken over the city of Manbij. Jarablus is their next destination. The Turkish government accuses the YPG of being an extension of the PKK. Turkey has waged war against the separatist group for more than 20 years. The YPG has been a key ally of the US in the fight against ISIL in Syria. The Turkish leadership wants the US to sever ties with the Kurdish faction. The YPG isn't the only sticking point between Turkey and the US. Vice President Joe Biden is in Ankara as the Turkish government presses the US for the extradition of Fethullah Gulen. The leader of the Gulen movement, who lives in exile in the US, denies Turkish accusations of planning last month's failed coup. The US government says it's waiting for concrete evidence before making a decision.
We have no interest whatsoever in protecting anyone who has done harm to an ally. None. But we need to meet the legal standard requirement under our law.
The US and Turkey are key players in the Syrian conflict. Both have maintained close cooperation since the start of the civil war. Cooperation that may be undermined if the two allies fail to resolve their differences. Hashem, Ahelbarra, Jazeera, Gaziantep.